Hi everyone, welcome back to Injection Insight with Aaron. I'm Aaron.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Monica.
And today we're going to be having a lot of fun just discussing some weirdest requests that we've had. Some weird requests that may sound weird but are actually doable.
Social media trends, things that you may see on social media
some weird things that people see that are actually not even possible. And then even Monica's going to discuss some things that she's gotten requested.
People call for.
Yes, exactly. So today let's just dive right on in. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right.
So with that being said, Aaron, what is the weirdest request you've ever gotten?
Okay, so in regards to the weirdest request, I would say... So with my personality, I don't really say it's weird. I say it's doable or not doable.
Okay.
Unique,
yeah.
right? I would say that I've had people ask me to put Botox in their cheek. Or they're like, oh, but I need Botox right here for this line, right on the cheek. Not doable.
Like they're trying to fill it, or
no, they see a line in the cheek and they want that Botox right there in that cheek.
So the line isn't like
so
they feel like the movement's gonna.
So in my perspective, or just medical professional opinion, knowing what the anatomy is, it's not doable. So my job with that odd or weird or abnormal request is to educate the client and be like, listen, you can't do it because if you put the neurotoxin, the neuromodulator in that area, it's gonna drop the cheek, or it's gonna make you look like had some sort of medical emergency, Bell's palsy or something like that. So that's one of them. But fun requests they're a little odd that I love is when people ask me to do their earlobes.
So this is something that people may not think of or know that they could do. So explain that.
So with that being said, a lot of women that have those dangling heavy earrings that you're just looking like, dang girl, right? Like those are really pretty, but they're like going down to your shoulders. They must be heavy. Well, what they do is they pull the earlobe down and they stretch the actual the hole for the actual piercing. So it ends up stretching it out, and they look like saggy, deflated earlobes.
Is it fixable?
It's fixable.
Yay.
You can actually it's an actually easy fix. So I just go in with hyaluronic acid dermal filler and I fill in the earlobe, and basically like a blueberry. I would say, you've seen those on social media where it's like a dried out, deflated blueberry.
Or like a raisin to a grape.
Or raisin to a grape, exactly. So basically I just go in and I just fill those puppies up.
How much filler does it take to fill someone's earlobes if someone wanted to get their earlobes done?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say it depends on the earlobe and how deflated they are and, the age of the earlobe. But basically anywhere from, I would say honestly, about a half a syringe. It doesn't take too much, and depending on the filler that you use, it can last anywhere from 9 months to a year. I would recommend use something that's going to last a little longer, so you don't have to be like, hey, I gotta do my
gotta do my
lobes very often, right? You don't want to have to, that's a weird conversation to say to people. That's one. And then I had, actually just thinking about it, I had a very interesting case like a year ago. It was an odd one, but the client knew that it was an odd one. So I had a very interesting case where she came in, she had breast implants and one of her nipples concaved. So she basically it's very interesting because when I say concaved, I mean like half the nipple was like
inverted?
Not inverted. It was concaved. It looked like as if there was a cyst that kind of like.
Oh wow! Okay.
She had a dip on the I would say, so it was on the right side of her areola. Anyway, so it was on the right side. So basically, she was like, "What can you do?" And me, being the professional that I am, I'm like, "Well, let's figure this out, right? Let's work this out." So what I did was I actually used. We went in multiple times. The first time we used hyaluronic acid. And obviously we were very careful, did some research prior to, spoke to different medical professionals in advance because I won't risk anything, that.
Yeah.
And we used hyaluronic acid and it helped, but it did not
fix it.
It did not fix it. So what we did naturally, she came back and we did it again with Radiesse.
Oh.
Yeah, and that did it. Nipple looked great. Great, yeah. Look
Free
right
the
after
nipple.
that. Yes.
So how long does that last then typically? Or did she have to come back again or?
So she was good after that.
Yeah.
I mean, typically it's 12 months to a year, but after that, I think it was just she was good with it, and it fixed the issue.
I honestly think that's so amazing, though, too,
Imagine.
because it's something that as a woman you're very self-conscious about.
Yeah.
But that just shows too, like all the different ways you can make yourself feel good in this industry. It's not just about what's on your face. You know, if you can help fix something else in your body.
Yeah, I do have to say it was a very interesting one.
Very rewarding. I would.
Yeah, because imagine how much more confidence she has when she's, having her fun time.
So what about some of the things that you can do for like joints, like knees and elbows?
Oh, I was like, huh?
Hands.
All right, so as we age, as I mentioned before, we lose 1% of collagen every year, right?
Yeah, fun.
I got you.
Okay.
But basically, you can do filler in your knees as you start getting like that crepey, looser skin texture on your knees and elbows. I can actually go and use filler. You can use different types of filler. I personally like to use the calcium-based filler, so I can hyper-dilute it. And what it does is we fan it in the area, and not only does it expand the area, make the knees and the elbows look youthful, but it stimulates collagen that you have lost most likely due to the gravity as well and all of that. So it really makes a huge difference, and something that somebody won't I see a lot of clients they'll wear long sleeve because they're hiding their elbows.
And again, these are things that really affect people and make you self-conscious. And like I've heard of people too, they won't wear shorts because they don't like their knees.
Yeah.
And that's so sad. Like you should be able to live your life, right?
Another one. Hands.
He's on a roll now. Okay.
I'm on a roll. So I had I've had actually a couple clients that they have you seen those sweaters that have the little thumb pocket?
Yeah.
And they come in and they just always have those on because they don't want people to see their hands.
Yeah.
Now, that is something that can absolutely be adjusted and fixed. So, first of all, I always say we're going to use some sort of bleaching cream, get those sunspots off. We're going to get rid of them. We're going to lighten those sunspots, make them, appear younger, right? And then we're going to go in and we're going to fill. We're going to fill because we lose volume, and you start seeing the tendons, you start seeing the veins, you start looking
like this?
No.
Because we're like this.
We're not self-shaming here. And they start to look bony in a sense, right? So we fill it in, and it gives it that volume, and it makes it look just plump and hydrated. Going back to that grape and raisin analogy,
Yeah.
And is that just straight filler, or do you dilute it, or how do you do it?
It depends. I can either do it straight filler or I can do it diluted, and that's based off the patient and what I feel is necessary to give that client the best results. So it's not a one-stop shop. It's not a one-size-fits-all.
Yeah.
I tailor each treatment for that client. So if, the texture is
depending how bad it is too.
How bad it is, and what areas need to be treated, and what I feel is going to do best for them. So.
Yeah, and it is one of the quickest ways to notice aging. That you're not thinking of the knees, elbows, chest, hands. Everybody focuses on the face, but they forget. Some of these other areas, especially living here in California, we're in the sun a lot.
Yeah.
So.
And this coming from an amazing esthetician, so you know.
Yeah.
But so another one, just jumping off what you were saying, would be the décolleté.
Yes.
So. Not only women, obviously men too, but what I find is that a lot of women, they have lower, where it shows like the cleavage or whatever, and it tends to, the sun hits it, and they end up having that like crepey texture in between the breasts and just in that décolleté
from
area.
the side sleeping as well.
Yeah,
the wrinkles,
So you can definitely do some filler there as well. The hyperdilute radius has been known to work, or even microneedling, which is really good one.
Number one
just
favorite.
Stimulating collagen, trying to turn back the clock in regards to the collagen.
And the bleaching serum that you carry here too, it's compounded from the pharmacy, so it's very strong and potent. But bringing that down to your chest as well to lighten those spots.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think if there's any other weird requests.
Have you gotten any, Lisa?
Yeah.
What are your weird
I've
requests?
been trying to think. I don't know. I don't think I really have had any.
You've never had anybody ask for like a Like a hydrofacial on their elbow?
No. No, I don't think so. I'll keep thinking, but I don't have anything at the top of my head right now. But it is interesting to hear, and just for people to know that they have options out there for these different things that may bother them.
Okay, so you haven't had any weird requests. Have you had any weird experiences? Because I know, like during facials and stuff and whatnot. I mean, I haven't had a facial where I fell asleep. I know I've had a massage where I literally was out and I feel like they I don't know. I was like, did they roof me or something? I was done.
Yeah.
But how about for you? Like, I mean,
Most people fall asleep, yes.
Okay.
But that's a good thing. I want them to fall asleep.
Good
Even
thing.
during the lash lifts, it's I feel like people come in and they feel so anxious because we're always on our phones. We're always so go, go, go. But they're in there. They're forced to lay down for an hour. I turn down the lights. The music's going. And usually when I go and check on them and, when I'm putting on the different products, they're just so relaxed. And you could just tell an energy shift in them. And I love that. So
well, the vibe in the esthetician room
it's
is
really nice.
very, very relaxing.
Yeah,
Like, honestly, I want to go there right now. Like it's a great vibe.
You walk in and your whole mood changes. You start talking softer
All
and
of a
yeah.
sudden I'm whispering. Why am I whispering?
Yeah.
So all right,
Monica,
what about
your
you?
turn.
Oh, so for me, the phones. We've gotten requests for a filler BBL.
Yeah,
And have you ever done that?
I have. So the filler BBL is an interesting one, and it's honestly it's not for everyone. I mean, financially, it's not for everyone.
It's all over
Yeah.
social media,
Yeah.
so you definitely see it a lot. But I see that you have to have so many
much
syringes.
product?
So it's
I mean, we're talking anywhere from 10 to 30 syringes. I'm not kidding with you. And it's a very long process. We offer it here. It's not something that I recommend to most people. It looks great on social media. It looks great right after they do it, right? The only thing is that the clients need to understand that they do need a lot more filler than they're anticipating, and the process takes a lot longer. So yes, there are risks to any filler. There are more risks to the filler in the actual butt area just because of the different arteries and whatnot. Yeah, so it's a little riskier.
Yeah.
And in addition to that is you need more product. So we're talking literally, I'm not kidding, anywhere from 10 to 30 syringes, which, I mean, cost-wise.
It's a lot. And it's funny because you think of a full syringe for your lips or something. It's really not that much when you, push it out of the thing. So it's not that much product. So yeah, to go into an area like that, you're going to have to use quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I've done many, and I find myself like there, like just like sweating, like, okay, we're gonna fill this. We're gonna go for it. But the thing is
It's got a sweatband on going
like,
to work.
Legit, like I'm just like, oh. But no, legitimately, you can do it. It does look good if done properly, and you have realistic expectations. That's for any procedure.
Yeah.
I would say a lot of times, but I would say treat the hip dip versus the butt itself.
So that was huge on social media for a while.
Yes.
I don't see it anymore. But it was like an issue all of a sudden. And
another thing for women to feel so conscious about.
And then like everybody starts going, well, I have a hip dip and I have a hip dip, but I think it looks very athletic when you have it. So it's everyone's like, again, social media made it a thing. So now it's become a thing. And so is it the same procedure as doing like a BBL? You would do it the same way?
As a liquid BBL, not a BBL.
Yeah, a liquid BBL, yeah.
Yeah, so it would be this similar concept. We just would focus on a smaller area. So therefore, one, you would need less product. It takes less time. And then it's more affordable. The only thing is you might need to do a couple treatments because with any filler, especially Radiesse, as discussed before, it tends to swell instantly and then it like tapers down, whereas hyaluronic acid goes less and tapers or goes upwards, scale. So just knowing that you may need to come back, so that's something. But it does look amazing, and to each their own. If that's something that concerns you, we're more than willing to, here at Derma Beauty, discuss it, do a full consultation, find out whether that's the best treatment for you, and if it's something that we feel that's safe enough to do, we will absolutely discuss it with you and go from there. So, yeah, so give us a call, Dermal Beauty Med.
How long would something like that last? So how often would they have to come back?
So Radius tends to last 12 to 18 months.
Okay.
But the actual collagen stimulation that is from that can last up to like 3 years. So it does work wonders, and you can use that for the hands as well. So these are all treatments. So the knees, the hands, the décolleté, the hip dip, the butt, the crepiness on the neck,
earlobes.
So these are all with the same filler.
Oh, okay.
Earlobes, we would use a hyaluronic acid,
Okay.
so it would be a softer one. But these are all areas that could be treated, and it deals texture, collagen stimulation, and firms the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the important thing to keep in mind too for patients coming in is for here, definitely, it's a safe space.
Absolutely.
So if there's something that bothers you that you're self-conscious about, you can always ask about it and see what your options are.
Yeah. And I always try to, if somebody comes in just for Botox, my thing is I'm never here to push, but I will ask you, hey, is there anything else that is concerning to you that you want to discuss with me? And I'm here. I'm all ears. I'm willing to do a consultation because at the end of the day, I'm here to help the client feel better about themselves.
And it builds that relationship in the treatment plan moving forward.
All right, so based off of that, our discussion of different areas that you can treat, I would just say that don't rule out anything as too weird or abnormal. There's nothing that is too weird or too abnormal. There's something that we can discuss and we can find out whether it's an actual option.
Love that.
And who knows if it's a trend on social media or it's not a trend on social media. Who knows? We could be the next trend.
We can make it a trend.
Exactly.
We'll go viral.
So off of that, just make sure that if you do hear this podcast, when you hear this podcast, make sure to use code HYDRA50 to get $50 off of a Hydra facial here at Dermal Beauty Med Spa in Calabasas.
Sounds good.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all the things. And we will see you next week. Thank you.
Bye.